The burning fire. Once, in a small village nestled in the mountains, there lived a man named Vasu. Vasu was known throughout the village for his fiery temper. He had a sharp tongue, and whenever something upset him, he would lash out at those around him, his family, friends, and even strangers. His anger was like a wildfire that consumed him, leaving destruction in its wake. Yet, despite his outbursts, Vasu felt an inner turmoil. The rage never seemed to go away, it burned deep within him, long after the arguments were over. One day, after a heated argument with his neighbor, Vasu stormed out of his house and wandered deep into the forest, seeking solitude. His mind was filled with thoughts of how unfairly he had been treated, and his anger flared as he stomped through the woods. He wished he could make the world around him feel the same frustration and hurt that he was carrying inside. The more he thought about it, the angrier he became. As Vasu walked, he came across an old sage sitting quietly by a small campfire. The sage, with a calm presence, looked up and saw the fury in Vasu's eyes. Without saying a word, the sage gestured for Vasu to sit beside him. Vasu, still seething with anger, reluctantly sat down, but his frustration was evident in his tense posture. The sage did not ask Vasu what was troubling him. Instead, he simply spoke, his voice gentle yet firm. "Anger, my son, is like a fire. It can burn brightly, but if you do not let it go, it will consume you, just as the fire consumes the wood it feeds on." Vasu, caught off guard by the sage's words, shot back, "You don't understand. People treat me unfairly, and they never listen to me. How can I not be angry?" The sage nodded slowly, his eyes calm and knowing. "I do understand, but let me show you something. Watch closely." The sage picked up a few small burning coals from the fire and handed them to Vasu. "Take these in your hands," he said. Vasu, though hesitant, took the coals in his hands. Immediately, he winced as the searing heat of the coals burned his skin. He tried to hold on, gritting his teeth, but the pain was unbearable. "It's too hot. I can't hold them," he cried out, dropping the coals onto the ground. The sage, still calm, looked at Vasu and said, "That is what anger does to you. When you hold on to anger, like holding onto these burning coals, it burns you from the inside. It causes pain, suffering, and destruction. The longer you hold onto it, the more it harms you. Just like these coals, the anger you carry will only hurt you, and it will never give you peace." Vasu, still feeling the sting of the coals, was struck by the sage's words. He had never thought of his anger in such a way. "But, what should I do with it?" he asked, his voice softening. The sage smiled and replied, "You must learn to let go of the coals. The moment you release them, the pain stops. The fire no longer consumes you. In the same way, when you let go of your anger, you free yourself from its grip. It is not the anger that is the problem, but the attachment to it." Vasu sat in silence, reflecting on what the sage had said. He realized how much of his life had been spent holding on to anger. Every disagreement, every hurt, had left him clutching onto that fiery rage, believing that holding onto it somehow made him stronger. But the truth was, it had only left him in pain. The sage continued, "Anger arises, but it is not something you must hold forever. It comes and goes, like the wind. The key is not to hold on, but to let it pass through you. When you hold onto it, you carry the pain with you. But when you release it, you set yourself free." Vasu felt a shift within him. He understood now that anger was not something he needed to keep inside him, festering and burning. It was natural to feel anger, but he didn't have to let it control him. As the evening sun began to set, Vasu took a deep breath, letting go of the tension in his body. He stood up, feeling lighter than he had in a long time. "Thank you, wise sage," he said, his voice filled with gratitude. "I will remember your words. I will try to release the anger before it burns me." The sage nodded with a smile. "Remember, anger is like the fire. It may burn for a moment, but you have the power to extinguish it before it consumes you." From that day forward, Vasu worked to change the way he responded to anger. When he felt the flames of rage beginning to rise within him, he would pause, take a deep breath, and ask himself, "What is the cost of holding on to this anger?" Slowly, he learned to let go, to release the coals before they burned him. Over time, Vasu became known not only for his strength and wisdom but for his calm and composure. The villagers, who had once feared his fiery temper, now admired his peaceful presence. And Vasu, in turn, found that the more he let go of his anger, the more peaceful and joyful his life became. Moral of the story: anger, when held onto, burns us from the inside. It causes pain, suffering, and turmoil, and prevents us from finding peace. Like holding burning coals, anger will only harm us if we refuse to let it go. The key to emotional freedom is to release anger before it consumes us, allowing it to pass through and letting go of its grip. By doing so, we find peace, clarity, and the ability to live with calm and wisdom. Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to give it a like, share it with others who might benefit, and subscribe to the channel for more valuable content like this. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.